How should you correctly use begs the question? Imagine hearing someone say, "That argument begs the question," and wondering if they mean it raises a new point or if they're pointing out a mistake. The phrase can be confusing because it has two different uses. Let's clear that up. The original meaning of begs the question comes from logic. It means an argument is circular, assuming what it needs to prove. For example, saying reading is good because it is beneficial is begging the question because it restates the idea without proof. In this case, you use begs the question to point out a logical flaw. In everyday talk, many people use begs the question to mean raises the question. For example, the new law on traffic fines begs the question of how much it will cost drivers. Here, it just means the law makes people wonder about something, not that the argument is flawed. This usage is now very common, but it's not the original or formal way to use the phrase. The word beg in this phrase doesn't mean to ask like making a request. Instead, it comes from an older meaning of to take for granted. So, begs the question originally meant to assume the conclusion within the argument itself. If you want to use begs the question correctly in formal writing, stick to the original meaning. Use it when you want to say that an argument is circular or assumes what it's trying to prove. For example, his claim that the economy is strong because unemployment is low begs the question, since it assumes low unemployment means a strong economy without proof. In casual speech or less formal writing, you can use begs the question to mean raises a question. For example, the new policy on school hours begs the question of how students will get home. Just be aware that some people might think you're using it incorrectly. A safe way to avoid confusion is to say raises the question instead. For example, instead of this situation begs the question, you can say this situation raises the question. It's clear and avoids any mix-up. Remember, in formal or academic contexts, use begs the question only to point out circular reasoning or logical fallacies. In everyday conversations, it's okay to use it to mean raises a question, but always consider your audience. If you're unsure, raises the question is a simple, clear alternative. For example, you might say, her argument that honesty is important because it builds trust begs the question of whether trust can be built without honesty. Or, informally, the new city plan begs the question of how much it will cost taxpayers. Knowing the origins of the phrase helps too. It came from translations of Aristotle's works on logic, where petitio principii was used to describe circular reasoning. Over time, the phrase evolved into the common expression we hear today. To sum up, begs the question has two main uses. The original is about logical fallacies, where an argument assumes what it should prove. The newer, more popular use is to mean raises a question. Use the right one for your situation, and when in doubt, say raises the question to be safe.